I mean, same thing that happened when Charlie Kirk died. You had these same type of people, vile, disgusting people. That's what I call them. But check it out.
Shout out to the Patriot who kirked two federal agents near the White House. This is exactly how we need to be dealing with violent dictatorships. Embrace our Second Amendment rights. Hopefully, they'll think twice about serving this racist administration.
Now, this cat right here had no idea who he is. What is the racist about this administration? This is cowardly games that they play. This is what they do. Again, this is who Democrats promote. I mean, this is what they are making. I would love to see them come out and say, like, no, we don't do this. We don't tolerate this. We don't support this. But they don't do nothing like that. What do they do instead? Oh, Trump is using the military to round up people. Does it sound familiar? Yes, because again, it falls back to them trying to use everything that Hitler did or Nazis and trying to paint Trump and his administration and people who voted for him and trying to put them in that same picture frame to say that these are the same exact people. These are the enemy. We must go after them. So what's going on, grace and peace, and welcome back to an episode of Layman Terminology. Appreciate y'all taking the time today to watch this video. So we know what just happened the day before Thanksgiving. Two guardsmen, National Guardsmen, was shot in D.C. And I mean, and to see the reaction of some people, it's sad to say, but I'm not surprised. I really am not surprised. You know, that for one, the way a lot of these cats talking, it's like, yeah, this is where we are at now as Americans, and it needs to be really dealt with. But what we really need to deal with first and foremost is identifying exactly of where this type of language is coming from and things of that nature, you know. So we know about last week, they want to try to say that Trump was talking about killing 6 senators. Like I said, anyway. But for the simple fact that they are telling service members to disobey orders that are illegal, but still yet though, but they never specify of what orders exactly it is that Trump is telling them that is illegal. And even they admit that they, you know, even say that they cannot pinpoint something that he told troops to do that's illegal. So my thing is that if that's the case, then why are you even bringing this up? Why are you even mentioning anything like this at all? You know, seriously. But again, it's just the language. And I'm not trying to be a language police, but let's call it what it is. It's like they running a game in a way that the naive are going to be deceived. And that's exactly what is going on. They say so much, but try to keep it back so much at the same time, too. Now, to me, it does create an issue. It does create a problem because of the simple fact that it does lead people to really start to harbor hatred in their hearts towards people they don't even know, towards people who did not even do nothing wrong, towards people who are carrying out their job duty, their job functions, you know. Because we have been hearing just about all year of how racist ISIS, they Nazis, they this and that, you know. But let's start with this right here, right? So this is, I believe, is one of the persons who, in my honest opinion, from looking at things, she part of this whole seditious movement. You know, she is part of this whole let's get people in the military to defy the commander in chief, you know. On the low key though, that's what she is doing. She is basically planting seeds into people. I mean, now again, when you sign up for the military, you know exactly what you sign up for. You know exactly, okay, someone gonna come into office who is commander in chief. Now, if something that is wrong, that is going on, I mean, of course, you know, we shouldn't be just nilly-willy just going out, you know, like to say that it doesn't make a difference. It was Trump, Biden, Obama, Bush. If they just going around telling troops, hey, you know what, I want you to go inside out in the street. If you see anyone that is opposition to me, then, you know, you take them out. Of course, you know, anyone looking at that, it's common sense, like saying, no, I'm not doing it like that, even if it's a defy of the chain of command type of thing. But for the simple fact that, again, that they have not proven nothing at all. goes to show what the problem is. It's these people right here. These people hate Trump so much that they are willing to put the careers and livelihood of other people in jeopardy. But let's go ahead and just hear what she had to say, is right.
Look at these videos coming out of places like Chicago. It makes me incredibly nervous that we're about to see people in law enforcement, people in uniform military get nervous, get stressed, shoot at American civilians. It is a very, very stressful situation for these law enforcement and for the communities on the ground. So it was basically a warning to say, like, if you're asked to do something, particularly against American citizens.
So you heard that there. Now, here is my thing with that, right? So what about the fact that ICE officers are being assaulted so much now? Again, because now these are the same people who would love to keep bringing up January 6th, who want to talk about the physical assault that happened to law enforcement on January 6th. But still, yeah, though, you have ICE agents today who are out there patrolling, doing their job legally, by the Constitution, by the way, upholding the law, and they are being assaulted. Their vehicles are being rammed. They're having things being thrown at them, lasers shining in their face and their eyes, and all this type of stuff. And they are being threatened to be doxxed, or in some are. I mean, and even the governor of Illinois is talking about that possibly in the future that they'll be arrested for doing what their job title, that what is required of them with their job title. But you did not hear her say not one thing about that. The only thing you heard her do is to promote fear. Is to promote lies. Is to get people all worked up. Everything that pretty much though that transpires from what I look at all this is all on them. They are making people get up in a frenzy. They are making people want to act in side way of which is unlawful, because they talk about the rule of law so much. They talk about upholding the law, disobeying illegal orders, but still yet though. But what about when under Biden, the Border Patrol agents, they were doing things that we know without a doubt was against the law, that they were basically turning their back on people as they crossed over into our country. Where was this same type of outrage then? And where was this outrage at even then of them even telling people in the military the same exact thing? I mean, at the end of the day, we have to call this exactly what it is. This is just pure hatred. These people just hate someone so much that they are willing to do all this right here, and they are willing to use people and basically just, let's call it what it is. I mean, they just use them as pawns. And that's exactly what it is. So, again, if you feel a certain way about it, that's exactly what they are doing. They are basically just using you. They are getting you all worked up so that way you can just be caught up in your little frenzy moment. So, let's check out this one as well, too, right?
So much of what happened. Actually, what the president is doing through the Secretary of Defense is creating units, official military units, to quite frankly watch the American people. And that's the thing that is absolutely abhorrent. It reminds me so much of what happened in Germany in the 1930s. Actually, what the president is doing through the Secretary of Defense.
So basically, what he just did, he just labeled out anyone who was doing their job in the federal government under Trump, under his leadership, under his command, to compare them to Nazi Germany. Now, to me, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. This is how I feel about everything that is going on. And listen, and Jews, you should be more insulted than anything, seriously, for the fact that they like to constantly use Nazi Germany as a reference. That everything that is going on, and try to compare it to what was straight up brutality, which was straight up hatred and murder. And they want to paint this picture so bad before the American people, before people, to make them view the National Guard, military, ICE, Border Patrol agents, whoever it is, that this is what they are doing, that they are trying to paint the president as this person who is rounding up people and basically sending them to internment camps and doing all type of evil, illegal experiments. Because if Trump was who they claim him to be, I promise you, they wouldn't be on TV boldly speaking like that, freely speaking like that. What you see with all these little protests and stuff that's going on, it wouldn't be happening. It'd be crushed from the word go. So what they do is that they take the worst thing inside history that they can imagine or that people do know about, and they just automatically just throw it out there. They throw it out there and just keep on throwing it and keep on throwing it and keep on throwing it to the point that people are fearful. People are going to start to react inside such a way that this is what they are going to see because of the fact that this is what they are hearing. That they are hearing that this is who Trump is. This is who his administration is. This is who the people are who voted for him. They are this same exact thing as well too. And if you think I'm playing, let me just find this other video real quick. No, not that one. Not that one. Yeah. Seriously. This here is going to be like the perfect case example. Okay, here we go. Now, I want you to hear how she talked. I want you to hear how she talked because this is exactly of what this is leading to. And God forbid it does. Because, listen, if you... no, I'm not going to say that because of the fact. No.
There will come a day in the not so distant future where MAGA Republicans or former MAGA Republicans will not be able to live in peace in this country anymore. Not exactly sure what that's going to look like, but I know for certain that you're either going to have to leave this country or completely hide any evidence that you ever supported Donald Trump in order to just walk out of your house. Even in the most rural conservative areas of this country, prior to January 2025, you couldn't walk out of your house and fly a schmazzy flag around and be vocally proud about the fact that you're a white supremacist. Half the town might agree with you, but there would be consequences for that. There'll be a day very soon where those consequences are not only going to be reinstated in society, but it's also going to be impossible for you to do anything in peace. If you choose to live out and proud about the fact that you supported Donald Trump during this time, your life's going to be miserable. Unless you sequester yourself to your small, little, rural East Texas town and never leave. There will come a...
And so, again, this is what Democrats have created. This is the type of people in their mindsets. Now, everything she said was nothing at all that she backed up with any type of proof or anything at all, but it just basically just running off at the mouth and saying that basically if you voted for Trump, you support the president, that you're not welcome. That there's going to come a time in the day. And listen, I mean, and if someone want to argue, well, she didn't threaten with violence. Come on, seriously. I don't got time for the nonsense. I don't got time for the game. It is what it is. I mean, it's easy to interpret what exactly she is saying. So if you want to sit here and try to play this whole game, then guess what? Trump didn't incite January 6th riots according to your standard. But of course, we know that you won't be able to just say, yeah, you're right, but you want to hold on to that. So therefore, hey, I'm going to hold them to their words. This is what they are fostering. This is what they are giving birth to. These type of people who basically want to be this bold and try to threaten millions of people to try to tell them that, oh yeah, your day is coming. If it's anything you ask me, they surely are carrying on the hatred of Hitler in their hearts. I'm just going to call it for what I see it as. I'm not going to sit here and be sitting here trying to play games with this and try to be, like saying, oh, let bygones be bygones. No, we are at a point now inside society that this whole bygone be bygone thing, listen, I don't want to see violence at all, but it's getting there. It's at a tipping point like never before. It really is. And what I really pray has happened is that Trump will stop playing games, that this whole administration will stop playing games with these people. Because it's more like they want to try to win over people who don't want to win, who don't want to ever come to the table. These people, they don't want to come to the table. They want to carry on with their hatred and their lies. They want to continue to be violent. They want to continue to be not law-abiding citizens, but citizens who are willing to break the law because of the simple fact that they know that anything that they do, that they could put it inside media, and the media is going to spin it to make it run a whole different way. Just the same as we have seen with so many videos about ICE and people, how the way they want to lie, talk about, oh, ICE just arrest this person, or they mace this person, or they did this, they did that, but you don't get the full context. And then when you do get the full context, then you're looking at it and saying like, well, you left that part out, and that was very important leading up to that to this point. The American people who have voted for Trump are sick and tired of seeing these people being able to just break the law and just walk away scot-free. Which we also know too, that for the some who are being arrested and they are being let loose by corrupt judges and all that, we need to figure out something legally to really deal with this. Because again, I don't believe in repaying evil for evil, but I do believe in upholding the law. And these people are breaking the law. You assaulting police officers, ICE agents, I don't care who it is, you breaking the law. But the more that they are allowed to do this, the more emboldened that they are going to get. But it's clear without a doubt that the hatred in these people's heart is without a doubt is showing. And it's sad too that we are seeing this. But again, something needs to be done. Let me show you another one. Let me show you this one right here, right? So this is the same thing that happened when Charlie Kirk died. You had the same type of people. Vile, disgusting people. That's what I call them. But check it out.
Shout out to the patriot who kirked 2 federal agents near the White House. This is exactly how we need to be dealing with violent dictatorships. Embrace our Second Amendment rights. Hopefully they'll think twice about serving this racist administration.
Now this cat right here had no idea who he is. What is the racist about this administration? This is cowardly games that they play. This is what they do. Again, this is who Democrats promote. I mean, this is what they are making. I would love to see them come out and say like, no, we don't do this. We don't tolerate this. We don't support this. But they don't do nothing like that. What do they do instead? Oh, Trump is using the military to round up people. Does it sound familiar? Yes, because again, it falls back to them trying to use everything that Hitler did or Nazis and trying to paint Trump and his administration and people who voted for him and trying to put them in that same picture frame to say that these are the same exact people. These are the enemy. We must go after them with no proof. And this is what really bothers me about all this right here. Because of the simple fact, it's all based on lies with no truth. Sometimes, no, I'm not going to say that. Not going to say I did because I know that I get clipped in a minute, but President Trump, if you're watching, I really wish y'all do something for real. That y'all start locking up people who want to be violent criminals and treat them as such, violent criminals. Stop playing games. Stop trying to sit here and win them over, and you worry about the optics of how things going to look in the media if y'all start doing things because y'all don't want the American people to think this and that. Guess what? What the American people are thinking right now and they seeing is lawlessness. It's almost like 2020 again. But the only thing that's absent really is that stuff is not on fire yet. But seriously, I blame the Democratic Party for all of this, for everything that's taking place. Everything. This is all on them. From these 2 National Guards being shot. I mean, and you got people like this right here who are celebrating it. Matter of fact, let me just find one more for you real quick that I got up here. Where's she at? Now, this lady here, I don't know. I mean, matter of fact, I might have 2 more for you. So, I want you to hear the way that she talk.
I don't want anyone to act surprised that 2 National Guard members were killed today. When you declare a war on the people that's based on racism and hate, what do you think is going to happen? You think you're the only one that's armed? You think that this is just a one-sided G-side, you know, like they're doing over there? Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I don't know the whole story. I don't know what happened. But violence breeds violence. Here we go.
And again, I had to ask, what violence? I mean, what exactly is she talking about? What she is hearing being repeated from Democratic politicians, from people in the media, so-called influencers who are basically spreading lies, spreading propaganda, trying to encourage people in the military to basically to just disobey Trump at all costs. I mean, if you feel something is wrong, then you know you got the right to disobey. And the way that can be screwed, and the way it will be, especially if it's not nipped in the butt real quick, is that they could tell them, okay, yeah, we gonna do training on such and such day, and we moving stuff from here to here, and someone feel like, well, no, I don't feel that's right. I don't feel like it's constitutional, so therefore I'm questioning the order, and I am disobeying the order. That's what is going to happen. I mean, that is what's going to happen. That's how people are going to try to justify it. And then when there are court martial or anything like that, then it's going to be thrown inside the media, the spotlight, saying like, oh, this brave troop did this right here, this and that and that and that. Yeah. Trump, y'all got to put an end to this, seriously. This is not right. Y'all got to stop playing games, because it's wrong. Matter of fact, let's end one more real quick with Don Lemon. So let's see.
Black people, brown people of all stripes, whether you're an Indian American or a Mexican American or whoever you are, go out in your place where you live and get a gun legally, get a license to carry legally. Because when you have people knocking on your door and taking you away without due process as a citizen, isn't that what the Second Amendment was written for? Black people, brown.
Yeah, so I ended there with that foolishness. So, yeah, just hold on real quick. I'll be right back. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time today to watch this video, even up to this point, because this here is the most important part out of everything I just said. This is my main message I want to drive home to you. Whether we want to believe it or not, one day we all going to die. Some of us, it might be today, tomorrow, next week, next month, 10 years, 20 years, we don't know. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself this question right here. If you were to die right now, where would you go for all eternity? And I know a lot of you might want to think that you are a good person, and people told you that you are a good person, and you may have great church attendance and all that, but it doesn't matter, because we have to look at what God's standard is. We have to look at what his words say. And again, the Bible tells us that there is none good, no, not one. And, so we cannot look at man's standards to justify our salvation or to say that we're going to heaven because someone told us we are. Look at God's standard. Ask yourself this right here and be honest with yourself. If you were to die right now and God was to judge you according to his standard, his word, have you ever told a lie before, regardless if it was a small lie or white lie? Have you stolen anything before, regardless of the value? Jesus said this right here, that if you look with lust, that you have committed adultery. This is how serious God is. His standards are so holy and so high that he looks at the intents of our heart. Hatred, God sees hatred as murder. If you answer yes to any of those right there, you will stand condemned before God if you were to die right now without receiving Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. And this is where the gospel comes in. This is where that beautiful good news comes in right here. That God sent his son to do something for us that we couldn't do. Because you have to keep the whole law in order to go to heaven. Jesus did that on our behalf so that way we may be justified through him. He purchased us with his blood, with his life. The life that he lived was on our behalf, and we are forgiven. We are forgiven by God because of Jesus Christ. If we will repent and place our faith and trust in Jesus Christ, we will be forgiven and we will receive eternal life. Now, I will encourage you to get into a local, sound, biblical church that will preach and teach about his life, burial, and resurrection, that will teach you how to live the Christian life. Give yourself fully unto God. Surrender completely. Don't play church because God is not playing. This is not a game. Don't sit here and think because you say a prayer that you're good to go. No. God is looking at the heart of man. There are those who walk in light and those who walk in darkness. You cannot deceive God. God is not playing this game. So don't sit here and think that you can manipulate God and saying that, oh, Lord, forgive me, I'm a good person, this and that. Again, don't insult God, because that's all that is just an insult. To dare to think that you can justify your life before God with your words or the words of others. The words of other sinful men, it's not going to happen. For the Bible makes it clear, God say that my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways. The Bible also tells us to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, by the word of God. Get into his word for yourself and know it, but above all, you live it. So I appreciate y'all taking the time to watch this. Love you all. Peace.